Hello and welcome to a live stream with me, Skaredcast, Grateful Host. In this video, I'll be painting some Drukhari and other things, so make sure you stick around as we chat and we talk and I hobby as I'm getting ready for like a little event coming up this weekend. So I'm really excited. I get to go to my first sort of like little event since the World Championships of Warhammer and my crazy ITC run, which has been super fun. I got a couple hours to kill, and I thought, hey, why not do a live stream and just kind of like have everybody hang out, which would be really nice. Got some music playing in my ears, which does mean you don't hear it because YouTube would be very silly and would demonetize me and all that good stuff. But welcome! Thanks a lot for coming to hang out. As always, friendly friends. Make sure that you come hang out. I know there's a way to share all this stuff and whatnot, but we have the chat going live, and I'm just going to be here for a little bit. Just chilling. Hey, Emperor Zanan, what's going on? Thanks for coming to hang out. I've got some skirts that I'll be working on. I've wanted to do some work on the wings for a long time, so I'm going to be trying to bring the wings to life a little bit in order to really sort of like make the wings sort of pop. I'm not really sure sort of like what color to do. I'm probably going to do some sort of wash on them first. Hey, hi, Kyle Ray, what's going on? You're working on Scourges today as well. Well, that's exciting. I know, that's like all the rage, you know? So I'm thinking, so I've already done a couple of dry brushes on them and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a Drakenhof Nightshade. It's like a bluish. Maybe do like a green. Maybe I'll do a green to sort of like, blue would be better, I think. Like a dark blue. Give them like a blue hue. Or, maybe just like a regular light army painter wash, which is also super fun. I really like, not the dark tone, but the light tone. Where are you? Soft tone or strong tone? Yeah, soft tone, like a soft tone. We'll let it dry. We'll see how it goes. I'll kind of do some more dry brushing and whatnot. Where is my little bottle cap? I tend to have a little bottle cap that I use for... Ah, there it is. See, look, little bottle cap. Some nice cheese being painted. Hey, how's it going? Let me know if I don't know why, but my headset seems to be a little funky today, so let me know if it's crackly or anything. White wings on like Blood Angel Sanguinor. Not sure what to do on the bats. Hey, good morning, Charles Parker. What's going on? Ollie Bear. My beautiful wife treated me to the Real Space Raiders box for Christmas. True love, obsessions. Love it. How's the weather outside? It's cold. It was cold today. It was well, minus 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. Sorry, I only know Celsius. That's what we like to do around here, is talk in real numbers and real temperatures. Grotmas starts today. Does it now? So this is a soft wash from the Army Painter. I love the washes. They're very good. I'm going to try and evenly put it all over the wings. One of the things I love about the Army Painter washes is they actually dry really evenly and they don't pool too much. So I've been a huge fan of them for many years. So I've already done most of the armor stuff, but the biggest thing I want to do is like I want to do sort of like all the feathery style stuff. So I'm going to be doing feathers and things like that. And then just chatting with you, so we'll let the chat kind of dictate what happens, which is really cool. Manitoba cold, yeah. I guess I don't have a leg to stand on if we're talking about Manitoba cold. That's definitely a different kind of cold, because you add the cold plus the crazy wind chill, right? And then it's like deadly cold. You know, you get frostbite just by like standing outside for too long, and just being in the wind. It's nuts. Although it snowed about knee height. So over the last couple of days, we've had about a knee height's worth of snow. At least that has accumulated on my little porch thing outside. Had to dig my car out, which was super fun, to go take my son to soccer practice in the morning, or football practice, depending on where you hail from in the world. And we had to be there at 7 a.m. Like every Saturday, my kid has 7 a.m. at like the big practice, like in indoors dome thing, and that practice dome is like 30 minutes away, and it was snowing, and I had to dig my car out. So that was super fun for Saturday, right? Always a great time. The wind is where it hurts, right? Yeah. Have you decided on any traveling tournaments for 2026, UKTC or US Opens? So, my travel into the US will be a little bit more limited this year. I am planning on doing a couple of like more national tournaments here in Canada. Dan from the Red Dragon, and I will continue to have our partnership and sponsorship, and it's not going to be as extensive as it was last season. So him and I have picked a few events already that we are going to be going to. The first big event that we will be doing together will be the Wet Coast GT in British Columbia. I believe it's in Vancouver or near Vancouver. And we are in talks right now. Of course, Red Dragon Dan, has started up his YouTube channel, Red Dragon Gaming, where he does like weekly battle reports and stuff. So make sure you go check that out. It's a very, very good mix of narrative stuff. Like they started a little crusade, and they're doing like also match play stuff. Like Dan and I played a game recently, so make sure you go check that out. And so we're probably organizing something or trying to organize something to do with play on tabletop. Yeah. I'm very excited about going out there. I haven't been to BC in a while. And it's something that Dan and I want to do this year is maybe not go to as many international events, but do more sort of like national events and do more of a community building tour where we get to hang out with more of the, like local events and folks and like showcase like community more. Not that showcasing community doesn't happen at large events, but more of like a national community here in Canada. And then there are a few events that we're looking at going to internationally. The Bajío Open is the largest singles event in Mexico. They had over 100 players, which is awesome. Run by El Bunker, which I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now. And so I'm hoping to maybe go to that, which would be really cool as well. Yeah. Anyway, so right now, just making sure that these wings are a little bit more lively than they have been in the past. Going to my first tournament on Saturday. Oh, nice, Emperor Zanin. That's fantastic. As a person with a science degree, I can appreciate the use of Celsius. However, I believe the USA refuses to use a metric system until the rest of the world calls the sport soccer. You mean football? You mean football. Actually, I'm really excited about the World Cup. The World Cup is going to be freaking awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, I disagree with like FIFA being very much like a gangster sort of thing. But I'm super pumped for the World Cup. Like having grown up in Mexico and stuff, right? It's like it's just growing up in Mexico. It's it's the sport like everywhere else in the world. Nice to see Dark Lances on the table again. Yeah, I've been running 2 squads of Dark Lances after my embarrassing defeat at the World Championship against a double Tyranids. Ugh. It's gonna haunt me to the rest of my days, my friend. Rodrigo González, saludos desde Canadá. Un saludo. And saludos desde Chile, he says. That's cool. All the way desde Chile. Love it. So I've done like a gray on, like a lot of these, by the way, a lot of these Scourge that I'm painting, I've owned and had these Scourge for, like, since the new Scourge kit came out. Like, before they changed the bases to, 32s and they were on 25s. Which, by the way, was, like, the worst. because they were just so top heavy. Not as bad as the old metal ones, though. The old metal ones were just terrible. Well, in terms of balance, like, I wish I had a couple of the older ones as well. Those nasty bugs. Nasty bugs. Yeah, I know. Like, it was, I could have won those 2 games, you know what I mean? They just slipped through my fingers, you know? It's like 2 times out of 3 I win those games, and it just happened to be not the 2 times out of 3, it happened to be 1 out of 3. Hey, kudos to my opponents. They played good games. You know, sometimes it just is what it is. It was a nice, humbling reminder, though, that you know, it's a dice game. And you have to just play every turn like you can and not overthink it. And sometimes you just need to get humbled. And I was definitely humbled, which is a good thing, you know. Bugs are toughly stacking Haywire. Well, I only had the one Haywire. Like, honestly, I don't mind the Haywire. Like, the Haywire is quite useful against monster bugs, especially if they have things like Maliceptors and things with a 4-up invul, because you can toss a couple of Dark Lances at them, they fail 1 or 2 saves, right? Then you keep them with like a couple of wounds left, and then you can do something like a Haywire Scourge unit, and all of a sudden you do like 3 to 6 damage that they just can't save from because they have an invul. And that's on usually that happens. You know, you roll like a couple of wound rolls every once in a while, you'll get a 6. Like, it's not unlikely for that to happen. However, a couple of times in both of my games, it was like, and I didn't roll any devastating wounds against the monsters, and they were like 3 wounds. So my first game, for example, there were like 4 or 5 monsters going into like turn 4 that all had like 3 wounds left. You know what I mean? And it was like just that little micro bit of damage that I wasn't able to do that just changed the pace of that game. Because then I was like, I didn't get a kill, and we're playing, you know, usually I get a kill in a hold on Purge, which is fine. But, you know, and it was like a close game. It was only like 20 points. Hey, Scary is a paragon of the 40k community. Well, you are very kind. Thank you very much. Would you rather fight 3 Gretchen or 1 Hormigaunt? I'd rather fight 1 Hormigaunt, because then I only have to worry about 1 opponent. Gretchen would be like sneaky, you know what I mean? I feel like I'd fight 1 Gretchen or 2 Gretchen, the other one would hide and like go get orcs or go get friends, you know? Never go out without 3 Scourges, yeah, makes sense. Have you played the new Tzeentch Demon Hotness? Scintillating Legion did great at high-level teams in England last week. It's been around for a while, like Scintillating Legion has been. I have not played much again. It is a very specific type of demons. Definitely something that I would probably need to get some practice in if I started doing like a lot more events right now. Because I'm going to a lot, like, I'm not taking the ITC ranking as seriously this season. I mean, I know that I'm not going to be able to go to as many large events as I did. So I'm going to maximize, like, every big event that I do go to, I'm going to have a lot of fun at. But I'm not going to worry too much about, like, crazy practice, because at the end of the day, I'm like, it just is what it is, you know? And I'm going to be running the detachments I want to run and things instead of, like, you know, I'm playing, like, a lot of for funsies stuff this season. I'm still going to play my heart out. I'm still going to do really well. And could be consistent. That's just what I like to do. But I don't want to sort of like shoehorn myself into having to practice against this meta thing or that meta thing or whatever. Like, I did all that last year and it was a lot of work. So this year, I'm just doing more stuff for funsies, you know? Just going to be playing the stuff I want to play. And meta be damned. I'm going to make my own meta, you know? Have the Scintillating Legions played and practiced against my list, right? That's my thought process. Have they practiced against me? Because they gonna have to practice against me. They have to be prepared for me, right? That's how that works. I guess I'm very full of myself. But I make my own meta. I make meta. I don't follow meta. I make meta. Hello, I start to build my Drukhari. 1 unit of Incubi, 1 unit of Witches, says Druid. Nice. Next, Lilith Malice. That's awesome. After I go Battle Box. Nice. What do you use as your paint on primer? Games Workshop Chaos Black. Then again, these were done, like, I painted these Scourge probably 15 years ago when the kit came out, or 10 years ago, I don't know, 12 years ago. So who knows what I was using as primer back then. I was like a poor college student, university student, so who the heck knows. Yeah, have no clue. Must go. Got some System of a Down playing right now. Got my Spotify DJ going, so giving me some good stuffs. What's your Scary? You'll be #1 ITC in our hearts. Well, thank you, DS. I appreciate it. Like, I went out last year, and I still have to like film my year in review, which is something I'm going to do before the new year, and kind of show it off and talk about the year and how it went and everything like that. And I'm very, very proud of what I did. I went out with a goal. I didn't hit my goal, but you know, I showcased the journey, and I think that in and of itself was just worth it. Showing off what it took to and the work it took to get to where I wanted to, like, to get to where I went to. I did it with a subpar faction, a subpar set of detachments. I didn't meta hop, so I'm very, very proud of what I did. You know, constantly getting blamed for the nerfs that happened to the faction, right? Like single-handedly getting the faction nerfed. Well, not single-handedly, there was a couple of us, but getting blamed for it was hilarious, and I love it. And that's just me. Scourges, what's going on? So you use the loadout for the Solarite. I just use the carbine. The reason I use the carbine is more for scoring purposes than damage. The carbine has the assault keyword, so in a pinch it allows me to move and advance the Scourge, shoot the carbine at something, and then scoot the Scourge, either for a faster reposition on a turn that's crucial, or to go mainly to either go move block or stand on an objective to stop my opponent from getting onto an objective, right? So those are like the two main reasons that I take the carbine. Sometimes I won't kill the carbine first, like depending on what I'm playing against, right? Like if you're playing against elves or other Dark Eldar, like you don't kill the carbine until the very end. You know, 3 shots is better than 1 Dark Launch shot when you're playing against like elves, right? You need to, or against guard that has like lots of infantry and stuff. So I don't know, and then you can advance and shoot and scoot, right? Instead of having a normal move, which is always really fun. Just gives you some little extra. Just gives you a little bit extra, you know? Sometimes all you need is that little bit extra. Good morning, Kyle. Ah, man, nice to see you, buddy. How you doing? The Deathwatch campaign's going to be kicking off soon, which is super exciting. Your Deathwatch orcs, well, not orcs, bruisers, look really freaking cool. So I can't wait to see that go underway. Like, they look awesome. I loved all the cool things you made for that, Kyle. That's so cool. I love it. Yeah, the Deathwatch thing is going to be awesome. I think they're starting to film it next week, I think, is when it's on the schedule. We just wrapped up our Necromunda campaign. That was fun last week. I enjoyed that a lot. The journey is more important than it's a good destination. And I think that's one of the things I'm really happy about is I showed off the journey that it was, which was like, you know, getting everything ready, going to the events, traveling, making sure that I was like mentally prepared for stuff. Like it was definitely like a big part of that whole process. And I really enjoyed that. That was really fun. Um, let's go. Let's see. Feel guilty. Taking the new Iron Hands attachment with Terminators and Dreadnoughts. Nice, that sounds really fun. Drukhari, 1 unit of Incubi, 1 unit of Witches, next Lilith, and yeah, sorry. What do you use your paint on primary? Already asked that question. I mean, I answered that. What's your usual loadout for the Solarite? Already answered that. What's good to hear? Feel guilty about playing with contract Cavalites when everyone else on Witch Drug list. Exactly. You know what, Sunnywood? It's funny. I had a person come up to me at one of the GTs, and they said, man, I was like, how do you make this work? It's like all my friends, because they were playing Dark Eldar, and they're like, all my friends in my local game group tell me that I'm silly for running this because Skari doesn't run it, and I looked at them and said that you have to run what you want to run. That is the whole point. I try and preach this more often than not. The reason that I run what I run is not because it's necessarily the best, it's because I like it. I want to run it. So if you want to run something, do something, you need to do that. And you need to just stand on your ground and be like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. That is literally the Dark Eldar way. You cannot let me tell you what to run. You cannot let anybody else tell you what to run. Yes, witches are very strong right now. I had like 2 weeks of playing witches and just constantly playing witches. That was super fun. However, I'm now on Cabalite Cartel. I'm running this for another week. I'm taking Cabalite Cartel to the event that I'm playing this weekend. And then I'm going to shift either to Sky Splinter Assault again or to Real Space Raid because I've already done Witches. I've already done Reaper's Wager. I just want to try something different for like another couple of weeks. You know? And that's it. Who's going to, like, nobody can tell me what to do. Void Raven Bomber should be sold with Scary merch in the box. I should do like a contest. You know, show me your Void Raven Bomber and I'll send you a Skari sticker. Which, by the way, I do have Skari stickers. I'm going to be handing them out to Patreons, which will be super fun, but check this out. These are the stickers that I hand out. They're literally emotes that they're the emotes that I do for, so here we go. Look, we got this little Skari sticker. We have this little Skari sticker. Then my little, they're literally the emotes I have for my Discord that I made into stickers. And they're so cool. Red Dragon Dan actually sent them out to get done, and so I've got a ton of them. I got a little angry Skari, and I got a little surprise Skari, or, you know, nervous Skari or whatever. So funny. And then I'm going to try and get the artist that made these, make some more of them, because they're so fun. And then I'm going to make them stickers. I'm going to send them out to folks, too. It's going to be super fun. Anyway, that's how that works. I am proud. Phil, I am very proud. What single unit in the game would you consider to be the most oppressive in the game right now? I don't know. I don't really look at the game that way at all. The journey is more, yep, thought about what, never thought about that assault plus movement, nice tactic. Yeah, Rodrigo Gonzalez, it's won me more games than I can count. This Saturday I have my first tournament, maybe we'll use that. You should, Rodrigo. Yeah, it's fun, just to like contest an objective or something. Do you see just the Death Watch or the other stuff too? I saw the Death Watch stuff, so the Death Watch, the like markers, the Alive, the Dead, like all those stuff. I haven't actually seen other stuff. Do you think Spectacle of Spite will take any nerfs? Charo Hazard? Yeah, I think so. Like, if people are running 50 to 60 witches are going to go up. Like, that's just, you know, that's just the way Games Workshop operates. I just run 30, but maybe Cavalites will go down, in which case, if Cavalites go down 15 points and each witch squad goes up 5 points, my list stays the same. Crab Nation is fun and works, even though it doesn't work. For everyone, play what you enjoy. Yeah, exactly. Crabs, 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 crabs. From Don Hooson himself, the Crab Man. Would love a new Defiler sculpt. Yeah, they do look older. Although on bases, they look pretty cool. The H-Ring Victrix Guard list are annoying, but nothing else is that oppressive. Victrix Guard are just Space Marines. They're just Space Marines. If you're a Dark Eldar player, Victrix Guard, whatever. Schmixtrix Guard. Just kill them. Wonder if it's the same tournament, says Emperor Zed. Nice. Oh, then I'll leave it as a surprise. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to see it all, Kyle. What would your Drukhari Necromunda team look like? Ooh. Well, I'm pretty sure I'd use the Venators, right? Isn't that like the one that we would probably use for that? Like Venators would be the thing that I'd want to use. because you can like adapt and make them or whatever. Anyway, let's put some more Scourge. These, by the way, all magnetized. I've got some that are, some that aren't. This, by the way, little magnets on their. There you go. See that little magnet right there? I did this. I did this way back in the day. Little magnet on the. There you go. See, and then I actually got. So I would change this if I did it next time, but I also magnetized the support arm, but I would have actually just glued this arm in place in the future and saved myself the magnets. I glued it in place there and just magnetized that side. But most of my Scourge weapons are magnetized, so that I can run whatever I want whenever I want. I have like a whole case of guns. I'm also working on my display base, my display board. Yeah, my full display board, super fun. So I don't know exactly what the Venators would look like specifically, but I definitely kind of do some work on them as well. Like, because you can, Venators are the ones you can kind of shift and change and stuff depending on what you want, right? Isn't that how that works? You can like have like different gears and whatnot. So I'd probably use that. Is it Venators or Outcasts? There's like a way that you can kind of represent the Dark Eldar. But it would essentially be, I don't know, probably a homunculus and a bunch of racks, because they'd be like looking for the Hive Secundus, the Hive Secundus-y shenanigans, and I'd probably use the rules for like a Malstrain gang to represent it, because it would be all about genetic modifications and brutes. So instead of like gene stealers and stuff, I'd have like grotesques, right? Like grotesques that are like gene stealers, and it's just a homunculus that's running around, like doing experiments and stuff in Necromunda, which I think would be really fun. Scourges, the bane of your existence. Well, Troy, you are right. They are definitely the bane of many folks' existence. Not everybody enjoys playing against Scourge. Scourge are so good. Anything that is non-interactive is just insane. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh, I don't get to interact with you? Yes. Well, that's very strong. Yes. Why don't more people do it? Oh, beats me. Because they are really squishy, so they do die, And a lot of the times you have to get more aggressive than you think with Scourge in order to get the most out of the Scourge. Like if we're talking Scourge tactics specifically. But I'm definitely going to be doing some work and stuff. I just opened up a super elite coaching tier, which I'm super pumped about. I have one client. I have a maximum of 2 spots, but it's a full immersive coaching experience. And one of the things that they get to do is request a commissioned video every month. And I believe the one that I've got commissioned to do this month is about like early tactics and strategy. And then I'm going to be posting it up for like patrons, select patron tiers, which will be super fun as well for folks. So they'll get to drive a little bit of the content, which will be nice. And I think one of them will be sort of like setup in the early turns of like a game. And using Scourge definitely comes into that. Like very, very crazy. Can confirm the stickers are very cool. That's right, Troy. Did you forget your stickers, by the way? I thought you forgot your stickers at the store. When we filmed our battle report. I don't think you took them with you. Double check, because if not, then I'll just have to get you some more stickers. Ooh, do tell. What does the Elite Coaching Service cost? The Elite Coaching Service? Absolutely. So it's $699 a month. And it is weekly call. It is daily updates. It is either a game every single month on top of the calls, or you get to record an entire game that you play, and I will record on top of that a play-by-play watching you play, so that you can like learn exactly what I'm thinking as you're doing it. You get to commission a video every month, and then you get access to all the extra perks as well as giveaways and stuff. It's actually all on the Patreon page. It's something that I'm trying out, something new, because I really want to make sure that when I coach someone, there's like the regular coaching, but I want to make sure that I have like the absolute time available for like coaching client, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's the super elite coaching tier, name pending. Yeah. Is it only for Drukhari? It could be anything. I've it's funny, I've typecast myself as a Drukhari player and coach, but I coach every faction. Like everything. I teach people how to play good Warhammer. Not necessarily just be like the best at a faction. I teach people how to play good Warhammer and develop good Warhammer skills that are useful for every faction. So I've coached folks on Custodes, Knights, Orcs, Space Marines, Tyranids, Votan, Demons, you name it. Solid idea, man. Love the creativity. Hey, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. What's going on, my friend? I did get your message, by the way, on whether or not... I did get your message. I hadn't answered yet. I had to take a look at my calendar, and I was just about to get onto the stream and stuff. But, because it's in December, Happy, Crumpin, Wargaming, Johnny, and myself are going to be doing, like, are we going to stream it? What's the plan? Is it to live stream a game that we play, or are we just playing to, like, practice? Just something. But, because I know we talked about it at Worlds, right? Isn't that right? We talked about it at Worlds, getting something done. I know we did our cool little team Discord Challenger Team League thing. That was fun. I know folks enjoyed that. 100. Okay, yeah, we'll do it live. F it, we'll do it live. I love it. That makes me happy inside. Skari's is Slanesh the Master Tempter? An Archon indeed. The Master Tempter. Am I the Master Tempter? Is that how that works? I tempt you. Ooh. Then again, we did birth a god with temptation. Have to get a game in at some point. Just got my Wormwood table in, so now I have a fancy space to play. Oh, that's awesome. Is that like a full, really nice game table? That's something I want for my house. Like, I've got a pool table that has like a plank on it. That's what I use in my house. And my super secret city project that I'm building, which is just for me alone. I might take a few pictures eventually, but I'm building a really cool city table that's going to be modular, multi-level, and it's for folks that come play at my house. And it's not gonna, I don't think I'll do battle reports on it. I might like show it off and take pictures, but it's just for me. It is a me project, which I'm very, very excited about. But I do want like a super fancy one of those cool gaming tables, you know, they have like the coasters and they're really nicely made out of like nice wood and everything. Oh, that'd be so cool. If that's what you mean, Kyle. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, the mini Wargaming has two of them. They have like a big one and a small one. Or a medium-sized one and a big one. I would like the medium, no, the big one, because it's not exactly, the small one isn't 6 inches, 6 feet, 4x6 inside of the thing, so it's like just a little awkward if I wanted to put like a mat down in it and stuff, so I'd need the larger one, I think. But I hope everybody's having a good day. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and leave a message or a chat or something if you want a shout out or whatever. Thanks a lot for coming to hang out. If you've just caught this from somewhere, if you want to leave a, did I put soft? Oh, it was soft tone. Okay. If you'd like to leave why is this? Did I not put the right one in there? No, that is soft tone. Sounds like some making me want to do a trip to Canada. Black walnut. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, those are like really cool when you get like the really cool stuff like that. Sounds like some custom terrain might be involved. Oh yeah, I'm definitely building like my own buildings and stuff. Like I'll tell everybody a little bit more about the project once I get it like started or like I make a little post. But it's something that I've had on the back burner for a while. There are, I want to say, 2 or 3 projects that I have that I've been thinking about. Got some System of a Down playing in my head some more. So I loved System. I missed their concert in Toronto. I was planning on going. I had tickets for it, and then I was like, just before I did my LGT LVO mega stint, like back to back to back, and I was like, I can't. It was like literally the Tuesday before I like left for like London. I was like, I can't do this. If I do this, I'm like risking, the sponsor is literally paying for this trip and stuff. I can't risk like just being dead the entire time. So I was like, I can't go. So I missed out on System of a Down. Yeah, it's a sacrifice that I made. Oh, that would have been such a fun show, though. It was a fun show. I had so many friends that went, like so many Warhammer friends that were there. Minimum sentences. I'm coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, the place that snow never falls. A little bit different. The snow definitely falls here. Well, if you folks ever want to come up to like an event in Canada or near Toronto, let me know. There's some really good events around here. Or in Ottawa, there's some good events as well. But if you want to travel for like the largest event in Canada, probably the Edmonton Open if they do it again. Hopefully they do it again, which is the Games Workshop major or super major or whatever that they do. Which they did the first time last year, which was such a big success. So many Canadians were there, like big name Canadians or good, like fantastic Canadian players. It was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to do it again. Although I've been on like a narrative kick. This season, I want to go to the Grand Narrative. You've heard it here first, folks. I really want to go to the Grand Narrative. The Grand Narrative was really fun the first time I went. I want to go again, but this time I'm hoping to get something planned with. I know Sky Serpent's not going to be able to because of life and stuff, but I know JT from Play on Tabletop, right? The voice himself, fellow Drukhari player extraordinaire, wants to. Which means what we want to do is we want to set up a battle group, which is just 10 players. Well, basically 8 more players, or with a kill team player. So I think 9 more players. And so we're going to do a real space raid. All Dark Eldar players. And it's going to be us, and we're going to go and have a good time. And just go as a Dark Eldar thing. And we'll play like our own mini game in between the Grand Narrative, and we'll just do like our thing. I think that would be super fun. Which I think would be awesome. Are all your Scourges magnetized? Almost all of them rocks full. Great question though. Yes, these are, for example, like I was showing them off a little earlier. And then some of them are not. And then I have all the different guns magnetized from the shoulder joints, so I can like pop them in and out. So I can do like all Dark Lances, all Haywire, all Heat Lances, all Splinter Cannons, all Blasters, all Shredders. Like I have all the guns. If you had to add one unit to solo or add in Drukhari, one unit transport or solo to add in Drukhari, what would it be? If you had to add one unit transport or solo to add in Drukhari, what would it be? Like a new unit? I don't know. I really hope that they would flesh out some of the like Mandrake-y stuff. Like the Decapitator would be awesome. I love that character. I've been saying it for years. Absolutely love the character. It'd be really cool. Watching from Sydney, Australia. It's currently 2 a.m., almost 3 a.m. Has. Wow, that's some dedication. Thanks for coming to say hi. I'd like to go to the Emperor Natoba. It would be sweet, says Emperor Zanan. Yes, it is awesome. Fellow Canadian coming in from Indonesia. Hello, fellow Canadian from Indonesia. Thanks for coming to hang out. It was awesome this year. Snow has fallen. It just insta-melts. That's true. The Atlanta one looks so fun across the aisle in WCW, right? Yeah, like that is the Grand Narrative. So we're going to that event. So what you do is they have battle groups, and each battle group is 10 people plus a kill team player. and that battle group goes into, they send you to different rooms or war zones to play. But I want to take just Dark Eldar and do a real space raid, just a raid, and then we just take captives and gather spoils and stuff and have our own thing going on, even though the big story's happening. Like, we're doing our own stuff because we're pirates. I was wanting to go to the Grand Narrative but never gone to any official tournament. Currently working on my own Drukhari. As long lost after months of saying I would paint them. Sly? Sly guy? Good. Get it done. Vect? Yeah, no. It'd be really cool if... Like, I still have my Vect, like my Dace Vect over there. Had so much fun painting that model. Arguably, narrative can be more competitive because of the Diablo-like battle honor progression. Some of those things that you get are pretty wild. Full homunculi refresh. Yeah, everybody could do their, like, little... What I wish Dark Eldar would get thing, you know? I'm pretty sure we'd spend all day here being like, wish listing everything that we hope the Dark Eldar would get. I do enjoy a good bargain. Oh, that reminds me, I have to get some. I have some Eldar models that I'm going to be getting rid of. Billy, from a local guy, Billy. He's starting or working on his elves. So I was like, I've got a bunch of elves. Do you want them? Because I'm never going to get to these elves, and they're just taking up space in my closet. Might as well get rid of them. I don't like. There's a few things I have, you know, like a soft spot for, like my dad's Talarn army. Speaking of soft spots, Black Templars. So for anybody who knows that Black Templars were my original army, and I have a lot of Black Templars, and I love playing my Black Templars. And I will say, recently I've gone on a kick where I've been playing a lot of Black Templars, which has been super fun. I've actually got a couple of Black Templars on my paint desk over here that I'm probably going to transition to at some point as this stream continues. Should be fun. Good morning, Scary. Would you like to see Vect return as a centerpiece model? Or would you rather something wholly new? Oh man, I have no idea. Like, I feel like Vect is just so powerful. Like, why would he come back? You know what I mean? Like as a centerpiece, they could do so many other things as a centerpiece model. Why do Vect? You know? He's just like, I don't know. It's like, I guess they do have Primarch level characters and stuff, so sure. But like, Vect is like a god, not necessarily like in Dark Eldar terms. He's literally a god. You know, like unkillable, all-knowing, just Machiavellian to the extreme. Why would he soil himself like in real space? Like why? Why would he ever just go to real space? I'm actually painting up 35 Black Templar Breachers. That's very cool. You mean for that's awesome. Yeah, the ones with the shields? Are those ones with the shields? They look cool, especially for Horus Heresy. I have some Pewter Hellions. Want to restore them, then mix them into my current ones. That's awesome. They can't kill you if you don't have a model. Exactly. They can't get rid of you if you don't show up, right? This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. See, I should have done that years ago. Look at that. That looks so much better with that. Oh, I love how this wash dries. It just dries so much better, but I should have made sure that they were a little more highlighted. Dry brush before I did. It is what it is, though. That's something else I've been noticing is like I didn't make it to Showcase at the World Championships because Showcase was like insanely tough to get to. But you know, I'm just like So GW really loves like highlights and stuff. Like they love it when units are like extreme highlighted and whatnot, like in terms of hobby style. So I'm gonna try and make sure that I get like my extra little bit of highlights up. I'm gonna make sure I've got my display board. I'm gonna do all this stuff because it'd be really cool to go to a GW event and win like best overall, you know? Like a little bit of everything. Yeah. That's like the competitive flex. You know what I mean? Like I'm worth it. I'm worth it. But let me know what your plans are for the week, everybody. Do you have any hobby plans? Boards are surprisingly easy to do and surprisingly hard to transport, correct? Like, one of the reasons I didn't really take a display board to, like, any of the events I went to was because it's so tough. You want to know something fun? I did my cart, right? Like, my really cool, like, cart. I was running from train to train. I totally left it on the train when I came back from the World Championships. I left it on the train. That's it. Like, my cart that I had all my stickers on from all the people that I collected all around. Like, I'm so annoyed that I left it on the cart. So far, I haven't been able to track it down yet. Building a rhino and a demon prince. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to let these dry. That'll be a good time to kind of shift over to another thing. Let me move some of this stuff over here. So I've been slowly working on some of my Black Templars, right? So, like, my Templars get a little bit of love, and then they... silly sleeves getting in the way of stuff. I've also got this campaign that I'm going to run for the friendly local game store, The Ashes of Vogan, which is based off of the old Vogan campaign that Games Workshop ran, like, back in, like, 3rd edition or 4th edition. 3rd edition, I think. Like, such an old campaign. And I'm essentially running it for the local store. I've run it a few times in my life. It's been about 10 years since I last ran it. Oh, yeah. But now I really get to run it fun, so it's going to be a good time. I'm super excited about it. Okay, hold on a second. Dun, 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 dun. Where's that? There you are. Got a little intense on the color here. Is anybody else? No. Good. Currently repainting all my Chaos Knights into a Khorne theme. That's exciting. My hobby plans are to hopefully finish my first Cavalite squad. Add finishing touches to my first Archon with the Agonizer Soul Trap. She has never failed me yet. Love it. I love that you're running the Agonizer Soul Trap. I tried very hard to make that work, and it didn't exactly work the way that I wanted it to work, which makes me sad because I really wanted it to work for me. Don't know what that noise is. Don't know if you can all hear it out there, but definitely not a noise. Haha! This is what I'm building. Did I say I wasn't a filthy, filthy meta chaser? Well, well, well. Maybe I am a filthy, filthy meta chaser. How dare you assume that I am not a filthy, filthy meta chaser? It's actually one of the only Black Templar things that I did not own. Was one of these things, which is Repulsor Executioner. And by the way, Repulsor Executioners for Black Templars are filthy. Like, filthy. I do not know how people live with themselves after running a Repulsor Executioner. Oh, it's probably a vacuum cleaner. That's what I'm hearing. I'm pretty sure it's a vacuum cleaner. Is it Eshin? I think it's Eshin. Which one was it? Yeah, the darker one. Eshin Gray. Soul Trap. You think of Wheel of Time, eh? Nice. Bam, bam, Big nice dry brush over here. Yep, that's why I don't really play in person anymore. 2 weeks away. Currently painting all my, yep, already that soon. Yeah, whenever someone says Soul Trap, Wheel of Time, yeah, like the old Outlaw Codex using as a table cover. It's a Warhammer merch thing, I guess. It's like one of their rollout mouse pad things. Do you airbrush the larger models? Nope, I do not. I do not. I'm old school. I am old school. I am definitely old school. Order. Yeah, somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Somewhere between the sacred silence and sleep. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. This is supposed to be very subtle, right? I don't want it to be like a massive amount of gray, because it is supposed to be Black Templars, but I will say that using a bit of a early dry brush of just like a gray in this case, what is it? Eschen gray I'm running? It allows me to get a little bit of the detail work out, so I don't have to worry too much about the highlights. It also, I feel, helps me paint it a lot faster, because then I'm like, ooh, I didn't miss that detail, or I didn't miss that detail, or whatever. So it's just something that I like to do on all my Templars, even though, you know, and then I do stuff on the paint job that helps me not make it look gray, which is like kind of the whole point. Where you're painting mandrakes, that's exciting. Welcome to the painting chat. I did used to call this show Just Put Paint on It, which is always a fun way of saying don't be lazy. And we did lots of shows for Just Put Paint on It during COVID. You can probably see all the backlog of like cool people we had, and like artists and just players from all over the world, and great, like, you know, great people that would sit down and just chat it. Disorder. Oh, somewhere between the sacred silence. Sleep. What's the best way of priming in cold conditions? I guess I haven't really thought about it. I just prime, like, I open my garage door and I prime in the garage with the door open, of course, and then I bring it down to the basement and I let it dry, and that's it. Like, I don't overthink it. I haven't really ever had like crazy bad experiences priming like in cold weather, like, although I do know that they do exist, and it is kind of like you have to be careful because you could definitely mess it up. So always looking to make sure that I'm doing it properly or whatever. Good morning. Old school was great, like tank brush for dry brushing. Nice to see proper technique. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks. Really appreciate it, Sheldon. It's like old school. I'm an old school. I'm an old schooler. You know, I've definitely been playing for almost 30 years, and I'm constantly, even now, like testing out new techniques and stuff and whatnot. Like I don't take anything for granted, and I always try things and I test stuff and see if it works or not or whatever. It's fine if it does or doesn't. But I'm always having a good time trying stuff out for sure. Just make sure your primer is not cold. Yeah, so the primer I keep inside. I keep it in the basement. I always make sure I give it a good shake. And then I don't do too many things in a row. I tend to just take out a bunch of stuff I want to get done, and I just get it done, and then that's it. And then I just put it away and cold weather model primer should be room temp. Warm, you can. Yeah, the model, of course, is always inside as well, and I don't let it dry like in the cold because I don't want the. So I bring it in. Yes, it kind of smells a little bit, but it's in the basement, so it doesn't bother the rest of the household. And I try not to, you know, breathe in all the fumes as I'm priming, of course, because I'd like to live to see retirement. Do you have much experience with Harlequins in Ghost of the Webway? It's my second faction, quite fun to play, sometimes feels lackluster compared to the elves. So the experience I have is playing against it, and I can see its strength and power. I think it's definitely more powerful if you do put some regular elves in there to sort of supplement the Harlequins. But it's got a lot of tricks, so it's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's for somebody who wants to try a bunch of different tricks and stuff, and like do stuff like you know, do stuff like make their opponent frustrated. I feel like that's a good way of describing Ghost of the Webway. You want to make your opponent frustrated? You're tired of having friends? Play Ghost of the Webway. The best way to not have friends. Because you don't play the rules that everybody else is playing. I feel like that would just be the way to do it. There we go. As you can see, I have converted some of this stuff in the sense that it's got little Black Templary goodies. It's burst about and making it as Black Templary as I can. Giving it a little bit of, yeah, there you go. See, it's not terrible. That makes me happy because it gives me confidence that I kind of know what I'm doing sometimes. Byron has a good video on spraying in difficult conditions. Yeah, makes sense. I've temperature nightmares with varnish, but never primers. That makes sense. People sleeping on troops and falcons real room for fishing for dead ones is kind of hot. Yeah, I'm assuming it's pretty good. Ooh, that's not good. That's okay. Should probably put some color on that, eh? And then after all these, like, it brings out all the colors and the panels and stuff, which is really nice. And then I can really focus on what colors I want to put on each thing, etc., which is kind of nice as well. Fear of the Dark. Got some Iron Maiden. Now, I did go to see Iron Maiden in concert. They were fabulous. Absolutely worth it. If you ever get to go see Iron Maiden in concert, please do. They are phenomenal. Still got it after all these years. I could see them a couple of years ago, though. Maybe now they're really old and decrepit, but who knows. Our Templars are so old, I've got metal neophytes. Me too! You wanna do like my Templars are so old competition? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Okay, fine. You might have older Templars than me, but I've been playing since like Armageddon Codex came out. 3rd edition. So yes, I've been there, done that. And yes, my neophytes also have metal neophytes. I actually get to play them at Mini Wargaming when we do like 4th and 5th and like 6th edition games. I play my original Templars. That is just badass, I'll tell you. It's so good. And fear that something's always there. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. Holler! Hey, prankster, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. Black Templars are proof. Games Workshop was being honest about less rerolls. ... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's perfectly fair and balanced. Your repulsors, absolutely, they don't have rerolls, do they? Like, the whole army doesn't get oaths. Like, there's no rerolls here. Nothing to see here. Please move along. Move along, move along. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, my friend. Nothing to see here. Rogue Trader. Yes, Rogue Trader. Okay, so you've definitely got me beat then. Is that right? I play Tau. They're my primary army. Nice. My brother plays Tau. Like, he played Tau, I played Templars back when we started. Yeah, oh yeah. Good times. I converted this, by the way. Check this out. This is a really cool converted, like, multi-meltar. I literally used, like, you can see so many little bits and pieces I did for that conversion. I'm proud of that conversion. Kids nowadays, I feel, don't have the same gumption to convert things, or folks that get into the hobby nowadays. I think there's a high likelihood, there's a high percentage. Then again, this is not a scientific thing. I do not know if I am speaking truth, but what I feel from what I see, using my own two bull eyes, is that folks tend to be, or like, there's a lot of folks that just play the game and enjoy playing the game, sort of like cookie cutter. And if it's not provided in like the box or whatever, they just don't use it or whatnot. Maybe it's because there's like, I don't know, is that like because there's a lack of culture around what we used to do, which was like convert things and like kit bash and build the stuff you wanted. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people still do it, but like at a competitive level, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that was the case all the time. Working, not working, glad you're well, enjoying having snow. Yeah, snow's always fun. Scary's in an orca showing with his conversions. Heck yeah, buddy. I love I love my conversions. Most of my dark lances and heavy weapons on the Scourge and stuff are all converted. Still converted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things the way the boxes are designed, we're less prone to it. Yeah, that's what I think. You know what I mean? Like, the boxes themselves, or like how the models go together, like, you have to put, you know, hand A with arm A and hand B with arm B. And if you don't, you're SOL because it's so confusing. It's like, good luck trying to figure something else out on your own, you know? Yeah. And like, they have like a twirly thing where like the finger on arm A joins with the weapon that's on arm A after going past a hole that's on torso A, so that there's no way to really kind of like mess it up. If you cut it up or whatever, it's like they're likely to just mess up your model. Right? Is that just me? I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. That's a hot take, I guess. Do you think with 3D printers we see more conversions? Yeah, it's like less conversions and more like straight up 3D printed kits, right? That are like just straight up copies or counts as, right? Or it's just 3D prints of like guns or whatever that you can't find. But even then, people are less likely to do that. They're more likely to go, this last cannon counts as a heavy bolter. I'm like, why? Why would you count as stuff? Just like make it a freaking heavy bolter or a last cannon. Just use the actual gun that it's supposed to be. Don't be lazy. Chase. Chase. You know? That's my thought process. Looks at Tech Marine Biker. Ah, yes. I had a GTI play this weekend, fully converted sisters. Nothing is based on one OP complained to the TO because my melters has like different looks. That is BS, man. Rule of cool. That's just like not cool. Oh, melters don't look like melters. Get out of here. Fucking stifling creativity. I personally think the lack of kit bashing is a reflection on the mass reduction of unit customization in the game. That also makes sense too. It's like the unit has this and that's it. Yeah. Man, that sucks. I sculpted some Harlequins based on just original models. You're right. Hobby skills are very low. 3D printing has ruined this skill. It is a skill. Like, it's something that you build and you, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, the best converted model, but even in the Dark Eldar range, like, back in the day, when you bought, like, a Ravager or a Raider, it was like, ooh, I got a tank, and then you built all the other models that were the hangers-on. I didn't make them as hangers-on because I was a poor university student. I made them into more models so I could have more Capitalites. Right? Conversions are much harder and rarer now, and that makes me sad. See? Okay, so it's not just me that's noticed this. Okay. My nightmare was MK2 plastic. Did not know what bolters and arms went to each other in a particular way, and I did not realize that when I cut them all out to batch assemble, I found they didn't all fit. Yeah, that the arms and the different arm that held the bolter, like back in the day, bolters came with the pistol grip, and you had to cut the pistol grip off and then glue it to the hand, right? They were two different bits. Hello, Robbie Losemore. What's on the hobby desk? Right now, a variety of different things. I'm working on some Scourge. I'm working on a Black Templar Repulsor Executioner. I'm working on some bases. I'm working on a couple of characters and stuff, which I haven't showed off yet. I'm working on some Black Templar Pyre Costers and a unit of Stern Guard veterans that I'm slowly kind of like fixing after many years of having got them commissioned and done by someone, and then now going back and looking at them again, being like, ugh, a lot of this is really bad. But, you know, they were good enough, which is what I needed from the commission painter, just so I could put them on the board. But now that I'm going back and doing them again, I'm like, ooh, I should have really I should really have done this earlier. I also have an Execrator and a Crusade Ancient. So thanks a lot to Games Workshop for sending me these kits. So I'm slowly working on this. So that's my Crusade Ancient. That's my Execrator, which I converted up so I could have him equipped with however I want. Grimaldus was one of the things I got commission painted, but I'm trying to fix some of the paint job there because it's kind of sloppy on some of the colors, but just so I can have him nice done, even though he doesn't get put into my army much. I've got my comms relay for my Impulsor that I'm painting up, some sort of objective that I'm gonna just like a teleport homer objective. I also have a regular teleport homer that I'm kind of done with here, and I've got like the little melt-a-mine marker for my incursors. I also have a Castellan that I'm working on, just getting a little bit of work. I did some work on the shoulder pads to make the colors pop. I've got the little Xenobite servitors as well. What else do I have on the painting table? You ready for this? This is a nice little treat. Pow! Old school Beastmaster metal that I'm going to be painting up. Yeah, it's going to look so cool. Old metal Beastmaster. I have an old witch armed with a shredder. That's right, witches could have blasters and shredders. So I converted a shredder to look like a blaster and or shredder because they used to have like special weapons. That's right. When we play 4th edition or 3rd edition at Mini Wargaming, I like having these cool little options. I've also been painting my Palanite Venator tank here. I just need to get the crew done, but it's pretty much all set. What else do I have? I have a bunch of other stuff that I'm doing. I need to get this guy done. I didn't get him painted. I got Malice done, and because I own like 3 other Archons, this is like low on the totem pole of things that I need to get done. But thank you to Games Workshop for sending me that one too, for free, so I could show it off. And then of course we got the Flamer Squad, which I have to do the shoulder pads and stuff, like the Black Templar crosses. And I'm also working on, where are you? This guy here. And my Stern Guard. That's right. Got my Stern Guard as well that I've slowly been working on too, which is super fun. Can't wait to, yeah, just slowly working on them, getting all the little detail work kind of done up and stuff, and getting all the shoulder pads done. Let's just say that I have a decent amount of projects on the go. Okay, trying to sculpt some beastmen. Nice. Scissor Silence 3D printed heads and such. I had to use the Teal's army just to keep... Oh, fuck that. Pardon my language. Animo, you should like just tell your opponent to go shove it. If they're on the right bases, they're the right size, and that's consistent, and you've put work and effort into it, they can go fuck right off. Scourge with 4 blasters. How many conversions you take one? Scourge with 4 blasters. How many conversions you do to make 1 box to 1 squad? Is it? How many blasters come in the box? But because the thing is, you're not buying 1 squad of Scourges. You're buying like 3 squads of Scourges, so you'll get at least 3 blasters. And then it's very easy to convert a shredder into a blaster. Yeah, take a blast pistol head off, right? Put it on the blaster, or or cut the head off of a shredder, put the blast pistol head on it, boom, blaster. Hobby side, now we got a lot more people who get in the game to play, and the hobby's actually a chore. Yeah, that's also true. Do you tend to shy away from epic heroes when making a narrative list? Yes, I do. When I'm making a narrative list, I try to make sure that my heroes are the epic ones. So I make my own hero, and I can create that story. I think unless Games Workshop starts selling individual bits, drop counts as for my guns my entire hobby career. I will drop counts as. Yeah, so I don't agree with counts as. I'm not a big fan of the Mark of Dave, as we call it in mini wargaming, which is like this counts as this or that counts as that. I think that with a little bit of effort, cutting, re-gluing, kit bashing, you can really make something work. And so a little bit of effort goes a long way to showcase that you're trying, instead of just doing something for the sake of doing it because it's the best thing or the most efficient thing or the whatever. So it's funny because I'm currently in the process. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up. And by let me see if I can pull this up is let me pull this up. So I'm working on this campaign. Where is this? So this campaign here, which is the Ashes of Vogan. Okay. So in the Ashes of Vogan campaign, no, back. Okay, in the Ashes of Vogan campaign, okay, it's funny because I haven't run this. There's a lot of newer players that are playing this with us, right? And so it is not like there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm like, number one, it's not Crusade, right? It's a narrative campaign that I've been sort of like working on. And it's based off of the old Cities of Death campaign from Vogan, right? And so I got the map, I've got that all stuff, and I've got a bunch of stuff, right? We've got our basic rules, like putting stickers down and playing the campaign. We've got the army creation rules. So this is funny because this is how you know that like the times have changed. So this is something that I added in, okay? Painted units versus not painted units, okay? So I would like this to be more accessible to everybody, so you don't need to paint your stuff, right? I want to make sure that new folks can hop in. However, in the depths of a city, you must be prepared, right? Battle-ready units, so painted to a decent standard with the proper basing and war gear options, will gain an additional experience in the first battle they participate in every campaign phase. So there's an incentive to sort of get your stuff painted and based and ready, right? Units that are not painted will suffer a -1 leadership, as they have not completed basic training and they're clearly not ready for the horrors of war. Right? Which is a thing that I took from the old Battlefleet Gothic stuff, right? And I said units that are not fully assembled, are on the wrong bases, or have the wrong war gear, right? Not what you see is what you get, not converted to a decent, so conversions, like converting something or actually making it, trying to make it look different to represent something, right? Will suffer a -1 ballistic skill and weapon skill, as they are clearly not prepared and their supply lines must be wearing thin. So, so that's just a little something, you know, and it's funny because it's, you know, it definitely caused one of the biggest stirs within the folks that want to join the campaign, be like, "Ooh, I've never been held to this standard before." I'm like, "Yes, you haven't." So it's really, I'm happy that I'm the first person to kind of hold people to the standard in like this area, which is awesome. Robbie says, "One Venom, one Succubus." That's awesome. Since I love the old out of production Scourges, and I think Heat Lances, Halo Blasters didn't exist, I have to count as. Yeah, you know, fair enough. That's an old school one, but you could always convert them, cut them up, make them different. Like, you can. It's not that you can't. Or use, like, cut up some new plastic versions of the weapons and put them all in the old bodies. That's another. Metal does rule. Aspiring Archon. Hey, Weed Ghost, what's going on? Made my own Uri and Rakgarth from very bits. And Rax, as Games Workshop wouldn't sell me one, had to kit bash some grotesques. Yeah, kit bashing grotesque Uri, and that was very, very popular. Do you see a place for Sternguard and Black Templars now? I haven't actually tried them yet. I want to paint them up, and then I'll probably use them in a few games. Hey, SimConti, what's going on? I've been playing Spectacle recently, and I love, especially the Brick of 10 Hellions. The extra AP only works on witches. It does not work on Hellions. Some people might be playing that wrong, but it's not Witch Cult, it's Hellion only. Unless I've been playing it wrong, so I'm going to check right now. But that's something to remember, is like, a lot of these things that sometimes people use that are like too good to be true, sometimes they're too good to be true. You know? So it's in the combat phase, fight phase, deadly debut. Yeah, so you get lethal hits for everybody. If it's a witch's unit, you get extra AP. So it's only against with witches. Hellions do not get the extra AP. Use green subs to create a mold and recast. That was old school. That was old school. And a goblin green, heck yeah. If the model has a pistol in a holster, but it's not obvious what kind of pistol it is, would you consider that a proper gear? Absolutely. If the pistol is in the holster, the pistol can be anything. Which is one of the reasons I have my pistol in the holster here, right? So the execrator can have a power sword and or some sort of pistol. So I gave him something else in the hand, and I gave him a sword on the hilt and a pistol so that I can run him as whatever I want. It just took a little bit of converting, but I did it so that I could do it. I hate the new Drukhari range though, so don't want any of the new guns on my old models. Hey, you do you, it's your hobby, you know what I mean? I'm telling you my opinions, but I absolutely understand where you're coming from. But Dab Black is better than Null Noil. Is it now? I made Disintegrator Weapon racks on my Dark Lance Ravager to house the 3 spare in the kit, so I could pretend the crew swap them over pre-battle if I want to WYSIWYG. Amazing. So what I did for my Ravager, so this is what I did. This is my Ravager right here. I'm running it in Cabalite Cartel. This is very old, by the way. This paint job is really ancient. Is this? Boop. So as you can see here, it's just a magnet right on the end and a magnet right on the end there, and it just glues on like that, and I can sub them out whenever I want to run Dark Lances or whenever I want to run Disintegrators. I still need to do a little bit of work on this Ravager, and I need to put some of the blades at the bottom. I need to fix that that tail fin. There's a lot of work there's a lot of little work that I want to do on these older models that have seen better days, I tell you. Back to work for me. No problem, Prankster. Thanks for coming to hang out. Really means a lot. Yeah, if you haven't already liked the video, I do love it if you would. It really helps the video get noticed, and the algorithm picks it up. It's neat, so thank you. Okay, so we've got, this is still a little wet there. Let's see if some of these are dry now. I guess I did start with this one here. Yeah, it's still a little wet, so we're gonna move on to something else, which will be doing some extra color on this this guy right here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of black paint so that I can there we go. This is Pro Acryl, which has fantastic coverage, by the way. I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on this thing here. I know it's not the best, but it's just designed to make sure that it looks a little cleaner, especially if it like fell off in the middle of a game or something, you know. Hair dry does help speed drying time. Yes, I'm sure it does. I do enjoy kind of like taking like I prefer having multiple things going on at once, and I'm relatively good at like flipping back and forth, you know, and being like, ooh, I want to do this now, or I want to do that now, or whatever. There we go. This gives it a little bit of extra bit there. Nice, nice, nice. Let's make sure it's behind. Na 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 na. So the recipe for me doing Black Templars, it tends to be doing like this dry brush, then I do all the silver. I tend to go with like lead belcher, and I just do all of the metal parts of the model. And I find that Marines are a lot of metal, just like metal parts, then this, and then that's about it. Okay, so that's good there. Does not help talking into a microphone. Correct. Yeah. Oh gosh, I've cheated with Hellions. It's all good, SimConti. You know, it's one of those things where, like, especially when a detachment is relatively new or whatnot, you know, it's like nobody really knows, you know, and so, like, people, it's like when people do Cabalite Cartel and they don't realize that the +1 to hit and +1 AP is for Cabalites and Blade and the Cabalites only, right? It's not for any other unit. And that the +1 to hit in melee is only in melee. You only get a +1 to hit in melee, right? Which is the making a point and the taking them alive, which are the two stratagems. How did I just think of that on the fly? Man, I'm good at this. Hellions have witch cult keyword, but that's not good enough for that stratagem. Proper witches only. Correct, Roxful. It says witches unit, not witch cult unit. It is very specific for that unit only. Witches. There's definitely something that can very much be overlooked. Now, a lot of those things, like, when especially in big events and stuff, again, it's something that can definitely be, not used properly. So, it's one of the reasons why I like to, I take my time with stuff and I don't assume. I always play it the worst case scenario stuff, and I always double check. If something sounds too good to be true, it tends to be too good to be true. That is just something that I have found in my many years of playing Warhammer. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Which is why I'm very used to going, oh, that sounds really good. Do you mind if I take a look at that? Or do you mind showing that to me, please? And even if it's correct, right? Even if it's right, just being like, let me see it. It helps me remember it for next time. Like, especially if it's like a rules interaction or a combo or a stratagem or an enhancement or something, or a unit ability that's like, oh, that's just very, very good. I'm like, oh, I will remember that next time. Why? Because now I remember it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Right? Or it's an Eldar unit. Correct. You know what? I will agree with that statement. Eldar don't play the game normally. They don't follow the normal rules. They just break all of the rules, and that is just what they do. Their army rule is break all the rules. You think they're going to play normal Warhammer with you? Psh, how dare you assume? How dare you? They don't play normal Warhammer. They play their own hybrid version of this game that is called Make Everybody Sad. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I know you don't have music playing in your ear. I do. It's very fun. Oh, it's Monday. Can you imagine? It's already Monday. What is this madness? Crazy. Crazy madness, and I love it. What time is it? Oh, it's 11:30. Nice. We're doing great. Thanks a lot for coming to hang out, everybody. We've been doing this for about an hour and a half. It's definitely a nice long stream today, so thanks for chilling and having a good time. Thanks, Sheldon. Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate it. Love seeing you getting back to the Black Templar roots. Yeah, that's the spirit. I know. I'm really excited, too. I've been having so much fun playing my Black Templars. Like, a ridiculous amount of fun. It has been very, very fun. Must be such a nice change. It is a very nice change of pace, Mark. It's really, really nice. So there, I basically, like, I had a couple of coaching games, like in person, and filmed a bat rep and played like my league game, and it was all my Templars, and I've had such a fun time going back to playing my Templars, like such a fun time. Like, it's hard to express how much fun it is to go back to like the faction that I just have loved since I was 12 years old, like the iconic knights, that go in and just are annoying, and they pray to the emperor because they think he's a god. They're like one of the only chapters that thinks he's a god, or that believes he's a god, and they go around and they're, purging the Xenos and stuff. What makes Black Templars fun? Well, the thing that got me into Black Templars originally was the iconography, right? So like the knights in shining armor, and the knights and squires, and the tabards, and the chains on their weapons and stuff. Well, they didn't have that originally, but originally they, like, the fact they had an Empress champion. Like, okay, let's start with the story of how Skari got into Black Templars. Number one, they came in the starter set. Space Marines came in the starter set, but I didn't understand that you could build and paint any Black Templar that you wanted. I thought that you had to paint and build the thing that was on the picture, and of course that meant that I got to build and paint Black Templars. And then then I got into the game. My brother and I played games, and it was really funny because when we were like children, we would always split what was in the box, right? So we'd go, okay, it's your turn to be the elves. And I'd be like, cool. So, we'd each take turns being the elves and getting our butt whooped, right? Because we quickly found out that those Dark Eldar in the box were not balanced. The Space Marines killed them every single time, right? And oh yeah, look at that. Looks so freaking cool. I absolutely love this tank. This tank, like this repulsor tank, looks like a I love the turret. I love the design. It looks like a modern day tank, and it's just so freaking cool. Especially the turret. The turret just like sells it every time for me. And so then we decided, you know what, this is silly. So what we would do is we would split the Templars in the box. So there was 10 tactical Marines and a land speeder, and we would split 5 and 5 Marines. That's it. We just do 5 and 5. We quickly found out that the land speeder was OP, so not OP, but like it was unbalancing, so we didn't use the land speeder. And then we did 5 Space Marines against 5 Space Marines, and then we'd basically alternate who got the Sergeant and the Flamer and who got the rocket launcher. So it'd be like we'd switch it back and forth. And I was like, cool. Then, walking through like a shopping mall or whatever, we ran into like a little train, like a model train shop. And on the wall, they had a whole bunch of like old codexes. I didn't know what a codex was at the time, but it was like, ooh, Warhammer books. And they were the old 2nd edition Warhammer books. And so they only had like 3 of them left, and they were out of print at that point. Like they were literally, useless. I didn't know that. So my brother and I bought them, right? Saved up my pocket money or whatever, went to buy each of these books, and I bought the Chaos one, and I bought the Angels of Death. Angels of Death was Blood Angels and Dark Angels, and so I read that. But I got the Chaos one first, and I fell in love with all the Chaos stuff. The pictures, the iconography. I really loved the look of the Nurgle, like conversions and stuff in that book. They look so freaking cool. And so Chaos Terminators in that looked awesome. They were like had spikes everywhere and giant guns, like the Reaper autocannon was like looked so freaking cool with giant like skulls everywhere. And my mum was going to England, and I was like, Mum, can you buy me a box of Chaos Space Marine Terminators? Because I want to play Chaos. She's like, okay. And then she came back from England and brought me a box of Space Marine Terminators. This was back when they had like a brand new plastic kit and stuff. It was like it's like 4 plastic kits ago, but it was like the old plastic Terminators. They were on 25mm bases. They were like plastic, that Stormbolters and Power Fists and all this stuff. And I was like, man, this is not the Terminators I wanted. I want the cool Chaos ones. So like, well, this is the only box of Terminators they had. And it's true because I didn't know at the time, but Chaos Terminators were only available in blister packs, and they only came like 1 or 2 to a box, or to a blister pack. I didn't know that. So my mom had bought me like a box of Terminators, right? And so, but it actually worked out because I was like, well, I'm 12 years old. I don't have money to spend on this stuff. And these guys go with the guys I had in my starter set. So I was like, well, I guess I'm painting them as Black Templars. Because on the back of the box, they had a Black Templar Terminator. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to paint them. And that was it. That's how I started Black Templars. And so then I really got into it. Yeah. So, but I really liked the whole, like, when they were running, instead of running away, they always ran towards the enemy. I love that part of the Black Templars. They were just very aggressive and never ran away and stuff. And that was just I found that to be awesome. You know, they're just angry. Glad you chose to stream today. Working on my 5th Harlequin troop, and is really helping me not hate it so much. Hey, Richard Wallace. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's actually all of you that make my morning go quite swimmingly. You know, I'll get a few things done today, which will be nice. So this I'm going to put aside because it's very easy for me, for my ADHD to sort of kick in and force me, or not force me, but encourage me to do things until I'm not finished with them, which means I'm going to put this aside like this. We're going to put all of these things on there, and it looks good. I like the fact that, oh, sad. Didn't even notice those like little bendy things in there. There we go. I'll make sure that. Like in the sock. There we go. Boom. Like that. It's gonna look good when it's all said and done. Tonight. There we go. Ah, I love that I converted this little meltagun. I was like looking through my old bits box filled with stuff from like other vehicles and whatnot. Come on. Are you gonna go like this? No. Aha, there we go. See? Oh, it looks so cool. And if you can figure out what the pieces are for that melta. I know it's a little blurry, sorry about that. Okay, what are we doing? I've been working on getting these Infernus Marines up to speed. You know, so I've done a couple little things on them as well, kind of washed the bases a little bit as well. So I do need to do a little bit of the silver. So we'll go ahead and do some of that today. Be nice. Is that the silver one on? Yeah. A little bit of silver. Morning! By the way, just primed my Imperial Knights. Had to leave them at my bro's garage as I own birds, and the fumes are bad. Yeah, fumes are very bad. Did someone suggest the Emperor is not a god? Well, yeah, you know, most Space Marines don't see the Emperor as a god. Right? They just know him as a man among men, you know what I mean? The, pretty sure that most Space Marines don't see the Emperor as a god. The Black Templars absolutely see him as a god, though. The God Emperor. You know, they're very sort of like akin to the ecclesiarchy and, you know, how that all works and stuff. And here we're just making sure I get a lot of this silver done, and I've got it just, it's one of those things where you just have to make sure it's consistent. It doesn't have to be the best, doesn't have to be like amazing, it's just consistent. Just be consistent with the colors across your whole army, and the whole army, look, I'm not an amazing painter, but I try to make sure that my army looks consistent. And when it's consistent, it definitely looks better than if it isn't. Dun 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 dun. Barracy. This one right here. Inquisitor. Yeah. Inquisition has left the chat. Love it. Yeah, the Inquisition is all over the place. If you get a consistent Inquisitor, oof, like getting anybody to agree on anything. They're all in their own little world, the Inquisitors. They kind of do their own thing and move at the beat of their own drum. It's kind of like how the Inquisition operates, I believe. The beat. Move your body. Step up to the beat. Your body. Dun 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 dun. I know it's rather quiet, you know. I wish if I had if we could put up the music that I'm listening to without getting demonetized, you know, I totally would. Tried that before, but the AI algorithm stuff that they have to kind of seek that stuff out and whatnot is very aggressive. Very aggressive. Dun, 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 dun. But I hope you're having a good day today. If you're painting or just chilling and listening on the drive or something, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. We've been doing quite a lot of stuff today. It's been really fun. Consistent viewership for a Monday morning / Monday afternoon if you're in the UK. I guess it would be more efficient for me to do something like this around 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, because then it would be like evening, transitioning into the evening in the UK, and then kind of work into something over here, you know. So since 3rd edition, Demon Hunter's Codex, the Inquisition, has been my favorite. Old editions, the Inquisitor units, Assassins, I enjoy playing them now at the local shops. That's awesome. So I've played with mini wargaming, right? We've done some of the older editions. I got to play with the Witch Hunters Codex, right? Not the Demon Hunters, but the Witch Hunters. And there was a game recently where I got to use the adversary rules for them, and that was so much fun. I had an absolute blast playing the adversary rules for the Witch Hunters against a chaos army. Oh, it's like supremely entertaining. The Witch Hunters Codex, this is the place I started 40k. Amazing. Yeah, it was like so much fun. You know, just so fun. Absolutely loved it. I've also got some Necromunda stuff I need to work on because we've got a new campaign coming up that I'm playing at the local store. It's going to be a great time. Really looking forward to it. I remember coming over to your parents for a function, saw you and your brother playing Taoist Templar, and it convinced me to switch over from Fantasy to 40k. That's the spirit. That's awesome. Well, Fantasy, especially nowadays, with like, you know, with the old world stuff, it's like I still have all my old Tomb Kings, but yeah, my brother's Tau is still going strong. He still plays his Tau all the time. Well, not all the time, but I think it's like the army that he probably hit that and hit his Ultramarines are the two armies that he has like the most time and effort invested into over all these years. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Let's see what else. Yeah, good, good. And we just have to do the backpack. And I don't think I can get this. Okay, that definitely needs to get a little bit of metal. And so does this. There you go. That's getting a little bit of metal as well. Because that's going to get painted brown around the edge there. Sick. But that's awesome. Like, I also have 5 more of these Infernus Marines I technically have to build and paint. But because I'm thinking, I've got the 2 Infernus Marines or the 2 Pyrecasters that I got from the Crusader squad, like, because they don't come with 2 Power Fists or whatever when you buy them. So what I'm thinking is, I only need to build 3 Pyrecasters, and I've got 2 more that I can use the bodies for to build a couple more guys with Power Fists. So I'm going to convert a couple more Power Fists out of that box in order to make sure that I have enough Power Fists to run like Assault Intercessor with Power Fist, or the regular Marine guys with Power Fists or whatever. It's going to be a whole thing. Bam, 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 bam. But here's a question for all of you. You know, what is your favorite Space Marine chapter? I know it's a very contentious topic, right? Bum, 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 bum. Dun, dun, dun. Favorite Space Marine chapter? For me, of course, Black Templars. Imperial Fists, nice. So one vote for Daddy Dorn over here. Legion of the Damned. Oh, that's a cool chapter. Alpha Legion, when you can do every chapter. I guess that does make sense. And you could be loyal and heretic as well, I guess. Black Templars, Blood Angels come as a close second. Orcs. Da chapter. Da orc chapter. I guess that would be an orc answer. Orcs? Orcs, 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 orcs. Orcs. Many orcs. Salamanders. Nice. Night Lords. They do. All of the chapters are great, great in the arena. Da chapter. They need to bring back looted vehicles. Oh, they absolutely do. Like looted vehicles and stuff. It's actually one of the things that I would love to see for Dark Eldar, to be honest, is a like a looted monster. Where you could take like any monster from any of the ranges, right? And kind of, instead of having like a beast pack where you like have a set number of monsters or whatever as part of the beast pack, you literally go and you basically can build a bear your beast pack. Go, ooh, I want a, you know, an amble, or I want a Crutox or whatever it is. And basically your thing becomes, you know, that, right? Like I'm gonna be a Crutox, I'm gonna be and then you just take a Beastmaster and it's like an animal handler thing, which I think would be really cool with it. Looted monster would be sweet, right? Like it's the whole point. It's like the menagerie of like things that you can do for the Dark Eldar. Which I think is really fun. Definitely something I would do. Might write some rules for that. Why don't I write some rules for that? That'd be really cool. Back. It's crazy how like even a little bit of extra paint, like you do a little bit of paint and it sort of like just brings everything up to snuff that, like, you know, in this case, the guy that I got to commission paint was so lazy and just did it so fast. Just, you know, made me so sad. But now that I'm going back and doing it, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of happy because now I've got the excuse to paint them and do the work myself, you know. Lobotomized Carnifex as a paint engine. Yeah, lobotomized Carnifex, right? And a Zote, right? Or like any sort of other beast, or like a swarm of Hormigants, or I don't know, Vespid. Like imagine they like, you know, force Vespid or Kroot or whatever to be part of the menagerie. You know? Like that'd be so cool. You could really just like then the Dark Eldar range all of a sudden becomes super expensive, but that's like what Dark Eldar do. They go out on real space, they get like specimens for the homunculus, and they take beasts to the arenas, or like captives to the arenas, and you know, they make them fight for fun and for sport. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, ooh, you know, it'd be really fun. Oh man, I really like, you know, the hunting way of a pack of Hormigants that's been drugged up, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should like take them on our next real space raid. Yeah, let's take up a drugged up Hormigant squad and make them go fight like an Imperial settlement, and we'll take bets. You know, how long does it take the humans to like get rid of them or whatever? That'd be so funny. What's the base size on a Carnifex? I'm attempting to do that as a conversion anyway. I think it's 60 millimeters, I would assume. Something like that. 60 or are they like the long oblong ones, like the weird long-shaped ones? I guess it depends, because if you have a Screamer Killer, it's on a big 80 mil? I think it's on an 80 mil. The same one a Sentinel is on. Regular Carnifexes, I think, are on like weird oblong ones. We need a new cultural exchange with the Tau to get our grotesque back. You know, that's probably true. We've run out of them. Vespid Skyboard Chariot. Are they on 50s? Carnifexes? No. No. 50 warriors, like Tyranid warriors are on Carnifexes. I mean, the big ovals. Okay, so they're on like the oval size base. Yeah, I thought so. It was like a weird size. I was pretty sure it was on a weird size. I'm glad that I'm going back and doing all these. It's gonna feel so much better when they're like done and like painted up decently to a more like me standard, and they fit into like the rest of my army. So excited about it. The Skyboard Chariot sounds awesome. Yeah, like you could do anything. Skyboard Chariots, you could do, like, imagine, like, be so cool to have like such a variety of different things. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh. So that's good, that's good. Oh, that's supposed to be silver. There we go. It's holding the gun. Holding the gun, folks. That's what I like to call efficiency. Dun, 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 dun. Is this the one I was painting? Yeah. All the way. What else am I doing here? Oh, that's right. These little things over here. Make sure that I get them. Show that off. Make sure I get inside of these little areas here. Just gives a little bit of the shoulder pad. And then we do the actual shoulder pad. What if the chariot part was alive, like a Talus, a biomechanical pain engine with Vespid parts in it? See, that'd be so cool. I feel like the Dark Eldar wouldn't be, like, they've been alive for so long, and they get so bored that they would literally just do whatever crazy stuff we can come up with. They'd be like, you know what? That'd be a project, you know? Like, I don't think there's any bad ideas when it comes to, like, the crazy stuff Dark Eldar would do. Like, crazy depraved or crazy scientist style thing. It's like really wacko job stuff, you know? Like, they'd probably do it. Because they are wild and wacky. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Just, I don't know what else I can monologue about, to be honest. It's nice to have folks, so if you ask questions, I can answer them. That's always nice. Didn't get any of the super chats going today, but that's fine. Haven't really done any of these live streams in a while, you know? So, I try and put stuff up for the general public as well, more than not. There we go, and then just one little bit left on this backpacky there. There we go, look at that. That's what I call fun. I have to build and paint a couple more extra palanites, I think. I want to build a captain with like a plasma pistol. I think a captain with a plasma pistol would be really good, like a leader. Plasma pistol leader would be very good. Here we go. We got all this cool painting stuff done. I guess I'm painting Space Marines. Not a free man. Not a free man. More Iron Maiden. Heck yeah. Going. Dun, dun, dun. I have to do all of the little all the little pouches and stuff with the brown and whatnot too. So that's like the next part. I usually do all the silver. Then I go back and do like all the brown, like the pouches and stuff, because that's, I think, one of the easiest things to sort of like, that has a lot of like real estate space, you know what I mean? Like it gets used a lot on the model. And I tend to do like, if I had the red casings like this, I do the red casings and whatnot. But the silver is like the #1 thing, especially with Black Templars, like the little like greavy things they have and things like that. I feel like it's definitely a dead giveaway almost. And then I go back and do washes and stuff, so that's why it's a little rough. Because the washes really kind of like bring the whole thing together and make it look better. Ignoring Reaper's Wager. What's your favorite detachment, says Tim, to play with the new Dark Eldar Codex? Not the tournament's best, but which one you generally enjoy just having on the table. So I'm currently going through a cycle of all of the detachments in the book. So I played Reaper's Wager, now, and then I did a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks of Spectacle of Spite, which was super fun, very powerful, very strong. It was very fun though. The thing I liked about Spectacle, but also hated about Spectacle, is that it was I found it very brain dead. Where I just had to shove things forward and it didn't really take too much of my brain power to understand what this detachment does, which is like contest objectives and disrupt my opponent's game plan, right? With with good command point management, it's a very strong detachment because it just stops your opponent from playing the game. So that is Spectacle. Now I'm currently playing Kabalite Cartel. I have had a lot of fun with Kabalite Cartel, and I do feel it's a little bit more nuanced than Spectacle or Reaper's Wager. I do enjoy the more straightforward approach of Kabalite Cartel. Like, I love it in its simplicity, but you still have to think about what you're doing rather than just shoving very cheap objective control disruption units in your opponent's face. You actually have to like think about your contracts and try and keep your contract warlord alive, and the damage output is higher, but it's not. It's more shooting than combat, so you're trying to kill stuff in shooting with a couple little combat elements and stuff. And I love the fact that I can use my Disintegrator Ravager, and it is awesome. Like, my Disintegrator Ravager is a mainstay keepsake in that detachment. I love it. I so love it. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to try is going to be either Sky Splinter Assault or Real Space Raid. And I've played Covenant Coterie once or twice. So that one's like, okay, it's fun. I feel like that's definitely more skewed. Definitely not like, I wouldn't consider it fun. But I feel like the most fun I'm going to have is with Real Space Raid, because I'm going to put in a bunch of stuff that uses pain tokens all over the place and just be very liberal with pain abilities. And I think that would be very entertaining. And a lot of fun. But so far, I've had more fun with Kabalite Cartel, just because it's like I feel it's more classic Drukhari, which is more shooting, more like, you still have the MSU stuff, but it's like, it just feels more like a classic Drukhari army. Iron Maiden, that's right. That's right, baby. I saw Iron Maiden when they were supporting Judas Priest after running free. Yeah, oh yeah, heck yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to see them too. So much dry brushing. I'm still in the super early stages of this massive batch. Everything has a contrast through an airbrush, and I've cut in the black parts. Nice. Hidden everything with a dry brush. Awesome. 45, which is to go. I think if Cabs and Sunblades Fire get a points drop, Cab Cartel would be go-to. Yeah. Like, Cab Cartel is super fun. I think Cab Cartel is probably one of the better ones as well. So I highly recommend trying Cab Cartel if you haven't, and just having a good time. Like, just do it. It is very, very entertaining. Cab Cartel is. It's just, but it does require a little bit of, it requires more thinking than like both Reaper's Wager and Spectacle of Spite, because you don't have access to some of the like clutch stratagems that just kind of get you out of jail free sort of thing, you know? Call on me, call on me, call on me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cabalite is my favorite now for sure, says Richard. Yeah, it is definitely like when I was choosing what to take to the to take to the tournament this weekend. I was, oh man, I was debating it. I was debating over and over. What should I take? What should I take? Should I take this? Should I take that? And then like I've been playing Cab Cartel for the last couple of weeks, and I was like, okay, so I've got a battle report I'm filming this Wednesday against AdMech, and I've got a battle report that's going up this weekend with Cab Cartel. So it'd be really cool if I did like Cab Cartel, then next Monday I release a tournament and review, you know, taking Cab Cartel to a tournament or whatever, which I think would be fun. It's just a little RTT tournament and review, and then I switch, right? Once, because then I have enough practice. I've got a bunch of practice. I finish it off with 3 games. I modified the list slightly, you know, put in like racks and stuff, and just kind of just switched it ever so slightly, and then went from there. Talk about Kill Team actually. Kill Team 40K, super fun game. I recently played like my first Kill Team game since I played the last one that I filmed, and I got my butt whipped by orcs, but it was super fun learning the mechanics. I'm playing Hand of the Archon, which is one of the more weak ones, but that's excellent. I love walking uphill both ways. What non-Cabalites Blade for Hire units do you run in Cartel? Life, Scene, and HD. So I run 2 units of jet bikes, 3 strong, 1 unit of Hellions, 5 strong, 1 unit of 5 Cabalites, 2 Chronos, and then of course 3 Venoms, which are not either, and 1 unit of Corsair Battle Line. Just the 5 little Corsair guys with a blaster and a guy with a shield. Yeah. So a little bit of Scout, lots of Infiltrate. I have 30 Cabalites now instead of the 20 that I started the concept with. I switched it around. And yeah, so it's slowly but surely. I feel like I've refined it to a point where I'm like very happy with it. Been playing more Kill Team. Don't have the time for full game. Yeah, that makes sense. If you don't have time for a big game, you can Kill Team's a great place to go, or you do something like boarding action or something like that as well. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at these folks over here, see if I need to do any of the metal on them. I think I did already go through and do all of the metal, just checking their backpacks and stuff. Other than like the odd little thing here or there, pretty sure these are all pretty much done. No, I still need to do some of the metal on these. I've started to paint different units types of Black Templars, different color helmets. I have like 300 infantry, and trying to tell them apart is a nightmare. That's true. See, I use my trusty squad marks. These are the old squad marks. I just paint the tabs and I go with that, and they just pop on and off, which is really fun. They just pop on and off like this, pop, and then you put them back on. The new ones have like magnets and stuff, and they're a little bit more fancy. But I love my trusty tabs that I use for that. I would like to convert 5 more Stern Guard. I think they'd be really fun to take out for a spin as well. Not really sure what their rule is as a Black Templar, but they're definitely not. They don't have the oath target thing, because Black Templars don't get oath. Right? So I think it's really cool. There we go. Just gonna get this party on the road. Gonna get this party on the road. Running a 1,000 point tournament in a couple of weeks. Do you think 90 minutes each game is enough time? Trying to squeeze in 4 games from 10 to 5. 90 minutes for a 1,000 point game? That's an hour and a half. I'd give everybody at least 2 hours. Like, you know, especially if it's more of a casualty style thing. Just start a little earlier if you need to, you know. I'd much prefer to have 2 hours for 1,000 points, so I don't have to think too hard. Unless you're trying to, you know, if you're cut for time. But if not, at least an hour and 45 minutes. You know, because by the time folks get to the table, chat, talk about what's in their lists, etc., like, then they've run out of time. You know, I guess in 1,000 points a little easier. I hope you're playing on full size tables for 1,000 points. I think that makes 1,000 points way more interesting. If you're playing on half tables, it gets very, very silly very, very quickly. What else have I been doing? I watched the live action One Piece on Netflix. That was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Season 2 is going to be coming out soon. I've watched a few of the like regular manga, the regular anime episodes with my son, so that's been fun to keep track of that. Okay, why is this not consistent? Consistent? Yeah, definitely not consistent, is it? Nope, 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 nope. Gotta keep it consistent, folks. Double check everything, right? Da, 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 da. Love it, love it. Hand of the Archon is just honest. It struggles against 6 and 5 operative teams. It still has the necessary tricks to win. Yeah, so that's what I found. I played against Rekka orcs, right? And so my opponent, Rob, he's like the arbiter. He helps run a lot of the kill team stuff. But Rekka orcs were like only 6 strong plus a couple of squigs. And they were tough. You know, they had like the right damage profiles. So like only 2 of their hits had to go through to like kill each one of my operatives. So it's very hard for me to like get into combat with them. So, but then like once I did wound them, it was a lot easier to kill them. And then I like opened up a volley. I shot something with like one of my operatives, and and then there was a reaction shoot back from like a super heavy rocket launcher, and because it had blast or whatever, it killed like 2 of my operatives. And so I was like, just little things like that where I'm like, oh, I just don't know the game enough to like not fall into stuff like that. So I think game 2 is going to be better. Game 3 is going to be better. I'm going to understand more about the gear and like stuff that I need to like play the game, and it's just going to go from there, right? So definitely something I'm looking forward to sort of improving on, if that makes sense. But that's but I want to do it with like Hand of the Archon because I haven't really been able to use them in 40K, you know what I mean? Because they're like, kind of trash in the Dark Eldar army. They're just bad, you know? So it just makes me sad. Stern Guard are now reroll a wound roll of 1 versus close to elbow unit. Okay, neat. It's not full reroll wounds, but it's, you know, you can get some extra mortal wounds and or whatever. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Let's see if I can get this up and running here. Very cool. And then after this, we'll be checking on the Scourge one last time, and then we're gonna call it a day because I have to go and I have to go get some food, and then I've got coaching calls I need to get on. So I got more work to do, which is fine and dandy. What else do we have here? They didn't do that little extra bit there on the shoulder pad or whatever. Okay. Oh, that's the tabard. Cool. So that's pretty much done. Very nice. Good. Done. Ooh. Done. Cool. Okay, awesome. We have got the stern, all the metal bits on the stern guard up to snuff. Why do I have something crawled up my nose? Kill team is bad for my ADHD. I end up getting all sorts of factions. I would invest in a full 40k army, Night Lords and Death Watch. Yeah, that could be true. Like, collection ADHD is definitely a thing. You just have to button down and focus on one thing, kid. Which is definitely something I would recommend. Okay, perfect. So it seems like we have that ready to go. So that is Mournfang Brown. So we're going to do a little bit of Mournfang Brown on this guy. But before that, we're going to do, I guess, what do you have? What was it? That looks like XV88. XV88? Yeah, that's XV88 for sure. Let's do a little bit of, I don't know, like a little bit of a, I don't know, feathering, or it's supposed to be like leather. So, my XV88 has seen better days. Do I have another one in here? Why is this Mournfang Brown over here? Oh, I should probably use that one as much as I can. Glothar. Suppressor. What's this? Ah, XV88. Nice. Do I have two of them? No. Yes, I do have another one. Sick. Time to open a new XV88 because this old one is just trash. Oh yeah, that's bad. That's gone. That is dead. Bye bye XV88. I don't use new paints often, but ow. I actually got take Hand of the Archon with Core of the Archon with Malice leading was fun brick, and got to Keeper Secrets and support units was absolute blast. Well, I'm pretty sure a Core of the Archon can it join, especially in Legends, a Hand of the Archon. If a Core of the Archon could join a Hand of the Archon, sure, but it's a little redundant because you don't get, like, they get. I guess no, it might not be redundant anymore. I'd have to check what the rules are. But Core of the Archon's awesome. I love Core of the Archon. Oh my gosh, what in the heck is this? This is definitely, this has seen better days. See if we can put some agent in there, get it alive. And then we're going to do a little bit of this. Okay. Let's see if we can revive this paint a little bit. It seems to have seen better days. Hopefully we can, because I don't have another pot. This is my last pot of XV88. Let's see if we can salvage it. Salvage. You know, if we can, that would be great, wouldn't it? Just shows you when you haven't used a pot of paint in a while. You know, could go kind of wrong. It's one of those things. Because I'm not painting Dark Eldar. Everybody's like popping in, popping out. What's going on? What the hell is Skari doing? I'm painting stuff, okay? That's what we're doing. What is Skari up to? Just paint stuff, folks. Just paint stuff. Nothing crazy. Okay. Let's see if we can salvage this paint. Keeper Secrets, yeah. So I always found the Core of the Archon used to kill way more than it should have, just in general. Like it tended to just do way more damage than it was supposed to. And I always really liked that about the Core of the Archon. Why is this up here? It's weird. If that makes sense. I also really like the new legend. What are they? The new legend. Grotesques. Like new legend grotesques are like kind of mean, kind of awesome in a way. There we go. Warm brown is one of my favorite colors now. That and there's like a couple of colors I just always go back to. I just go back to them over and over and over again. They just seem to be way easier to play and use and stuff. Rent. My gran used to make cherry cake. Well, that sucks, Robbie. It's like, here, we're going to make something with supposed to be ingredients that has no longer got any ingredients in it. Silly, silly. Yeah, I know. Silly, what we called it, shrinkflation or whatever it's called now. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Yeah, looks a heck of a lot better. Thank you very much, science. And now this will be my actual Mornfang brown because I've run out of the other stuff. I have to go through and fix all of my paints though. I got a really nice paint rack. Got a really nice rack, but it just needs some work. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. So we've got XV88, and it's just basically going to be. I wonder if I should. Okay, I like it. I think it looks good. It's like trying to watch a movie on Prime, just constant ads. Yeah. Yep, correct. Unless you pay for the extra subscription. Right? You should pay for the extra subscription. It's the neo-capitalism of everything nowadays, you know? It's one of the reasons why I, like doing like little things that I enjoy. I try and find the little things in life that I enjoy, so that the big things in life like this don't like turn me off life in general. When it comes to the little things that I enjoy. Look at that. Oh yeah. Boom. What times do you normally stream? Well, Callum, this is the first time I've streamed in a long time. But what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make more of a thing of it if, because I've got like this time slot is relatively open. So I'm probably going to be using it for streams or filming battle reports, which does mean that I might go back to streaming my battle report filming again, depending on how it goes. Thanks to Vortex Games, I do have a stream setup, like a computer that I can use for streaming, which I just haven't used in a while because I went on this wild ITC goose chase, and so hopefully I can get back to doing something a little bit more on the regular, which I really enjoy. It's like super fun. This is one of my favorite things to do. But definitely, just have to get into the habit of it again. Basically, is what it comes down to. Which is the Mondays will probably be the day. I do a live stream most Fridays for Patreons. called The Weekly Show. Sometimes I open it up for like the public. Um, there's probably one coming up for the public soon because it's going to be the holiday season soon. So it'll be a chance for me to kind of like show off the weekly show and the list crunch because I do like a list clinic and stuff like that as well. Oh man, that's gonna look so freaking good when it's done. A whole live stream battle reports. Yeah, sometimes I do live stream battle reports. Do you really feel like it was a goose chase? No, no, no. I don't. I don't want my comments to be misconstrued. What I meant by goose chase was that it was a lot of work and a lot of effort. Not that I didn't achieve anything with it. It's just I physically, the investment of time and effort consumed my entire year, is what it did. Like, I wasn't home. Like, I was either going to an international event, so leaving Tuesday or Wednesday and not coming back till Monday or Tuesday or even more. So I was going at like a week and a half, week to 2 week stints at a time. And then literally coming back, going to mini wargaming to film between the days that I could because they pay me for my time, so to kind of supplement my income, I go down there to like help film at Mini Wargaming, and then I'd come back and I either have a GT, an RTT, or like some other thing where I was testing and practicing, or like a Team Canada practice or something, and then I would basically have to go to the next event. You know what I mean? Like I did so many big events. Like every once in a while, I have like a stint where I was like, okay, I've got a week off or whatever, and like but it was insane, um, in a good way, insane. And I've come back from the World Championships, and I finally had I've had like 3 or 4 weekends in a row with nothing on the schedule other than like maybe one or two things, like a coaching client or something that I'm doing a live game with or whatever. And that has been like super, super fun to just like yesterday. I looked at my calendar and I was like, wait a second. It's a Sunday and there is nothing on my calendar. Like the whole family, my wife, my kid, myself, we had zero things on the calendar, and it was like, oh, what do we do with this time? Like, what do we do? So at first in the morning, I got up. My wife slept in. My kid was up, like playing games with his friends or whatever, and I came downstairs and did some hobby. And then what did I do after? I literally started cleaning the whole house. And I was like, ah, this feels amazing. Because I haven't been able to like do like a deep house clean and organize in a year. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and I love that organization feeling. So I started pulling stuff out of closets and filling like Tupperware, like filling bags of stuff and getting rid of trash. And it just feels cathartic. I love a good purge. So just being able to like go through it and stuff. But that was like the third weekend that I've had where I've had nothing scheduled. So I didn't mean that by goose chase in a bad way. It's just like goose chases in, like I actually finally had like, some time to actually do stuff. And by do stuff, I mean do nothing other than like just life things, right? How did you not burn out? How did you not burn out? Well, it is like, I guess it is my job. So like at the end of the day, it's my job. So, when I'm going out and doing stuff, I'm like working, right? Like I'm working. So there's no burnout because it's just my job. And I tried to supplement my time with different things. Like that's one of the reasons I play like Kill Team or run a campaign at the local store, or I think working at mini wargaming has been one of the things that has kept me the most sane out of everything because I could like they don't do competitive 40K at mini wargaming, right? Like they're not known for that. They're known for their narrative games and campaigns and stuff. So they don't play competitive 40K, right? I was like, okay, so um, that kept me sane throughout all the times that I was like, having to do like, all these crazy competitive stints. It's like I'd go to mini wargaming and they'd like, you're gonna play, third edition Warhammer, fourth edition Warhammer with like old school Black Templars, and I was like, amazing. So I could like shut off my brain from all the competitive stuff, right, for a day or whatever, or a week while I was filming just silly things. Kept me sane. Kept me very sane, folks. I like watching painting live streams along my own painting. Reminds me that everyone who works over time. I paint slow. Yeah. Templar Prez, it's not chores. I'm purging the garbage. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad that you enjoy the sit and paints. I enjoy sitting and painting. Like, I haven't done a good paint stream in like a long time, but I do enjoy paint streams. I find I get way more done when I've got like folks around me that I get to like talk to while I paint. You know? I do feel like I get way more done for sure. So I'm just going to be doing the top part of this scourge wing, and then I'll do the bottom at some point, but I do have to get ready for coaching calls. Even though I would probably do this, like, I'd do a 10-hour stream if I didn't have things to do. I'd stay here and just stream. Yeah, which would be super fun. Of course, I guess this is not like Twitch, where there's like hype trains and clip mining and whatever the heck they do in Twitch. This is definitely old school streaming, which is just, I'm streaming, you folks can hang out and be on the stream if you would like, and I will read out your questions and like so. I should probably go up and check on the cats. Make sure the cats are doing okay. Look at this. Oh, this is, it's looking so good. It's crazy how just a little bit of a wash, you know? You put a wash on a model, put a wash, and then you work on the wash, and then you put a little bit of highlight work after the wash, and it's like the whole model just pops. This is the one thing that was missing from my do you have a wish list for rule changes for 11th? Says Roxful. Not really. Like, sorry, I have a wish list of, I just hope they don't change it too much. Like, 10th edition is one of the best editions they've ever made. You know what I mean? Like, the meta's quite balanced, even though there's a couple outliers here and there that cycle through. Like, they, for the first time since I remember, they've been doing so much work on keeping everybody on the same page and trying to make sure that everything kind of works out in terms of you know, rules and consistency and rules updates and stuff, you know. So I hope they don't change it too much. If anything, you know, my wish for 11th edition would be to like keep it as close to 10th as possible, which I think would be a very smart business decision. Not only business decision, but it'd be very beneficial for all of us, you know. And I feel like that would be good for us to just not have to worry too much about like crazy changes. I know you can agree or disagree with me on that, but you know, like, granted that, you know, there's probably a couple of things they could tweak and like change stuff around or whatever, and they, you know, in order to make it a new edition, like they're gonna have to change something, right? Like, unless, like, if not, they're just selling us a repackaged like old edition. So I understand, yes, there's gonna be changes, but like I hope it's not dissimilar. 3 Dark Eldar release waves to 11th is my wish list. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really neat. In theory, 11th is a rollover edition. Carry over the current codexes into tweak core rule set. That's what they did from 8th to 9th, right? And then in 10th, they re-indexed everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something similar for us. Oh, where's this? Was there? There is. Ooh, fancy. There is a little bit of leather on this side of the wing. They need to do something about terrains. It's got some other elements, not just everything is a ruin. Yeah, that'd be well. Look, everything isn't a ruin in Warhammer, right? In competitive 40K, they made everything as a ruin, but like not in regular the games of Warhammer. Like there are lots of different types of terrain. It's just for competitive 40K, there is definitely, a tendency to just make everything ruins, and they did do that for sort of like the what's it called, the tournament companion or whatever, right? So yes, but it would be nice to have like, yes, forests back again and craters do something, and you know what I mean. Maybe some minor tweaks like only being able to see a model when you see the body, vice versa. I hate how anti-decorative 10th is. My hate ends there. Well, if they wanted to do something like that, they'd really have to do something like they did in 4th edition was I think my favorite line of sight. Was my favorite line of sight rules because it was all based on like sort of an abstract size system where things of a certain size could always see over things of a different size. It was a very abstract line of sight system, but it worked very, very well. And I know this because I've been able to play it recently. And then 5th edition brought like true line of sight, and that's when I guess true line of sight is like fun, and I guess it's like simple in the sense of like, well, just can you see it? Can your model see it? Then you can shoot it, that sort of thing. But it does lead to, like, well, does this, if I make my model big and cool, like it stifles that creativity a little bit, right? Whereas like in Infinity, for example, they have a little bit of leeway, even though they're very strict on like line of sight and stuff. They have like each style or size of model creates like an area that they take up, right? Which they kind of work within or work like work out of or work in or whatever. And yeah, so anyway. There we go. Look at that. That is what I call one heck of a wing. I love how it looks. Looks a lot more leathery, a lot more filled, which is nice. But we're going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to do one little dry brush. I just want to show you sort of like what my vision is for these winged beasts. So I can find one. So yeah, this one over here. Essentially, we're essentially going to get some Dawnstone, which I think is like the color I really like there. Should I go for like a very, very highlight? Hey, Falls, what's going on? Nice to see you. Is this the return of Just Put Paint on It? I know, right? I know it feels that way. If I can do this regularly, I'd love to bring Just Put Paint on It back. Did you see the company that did MDF versions of the old cardboard 40K bunkers? No, I did not, Robbie. Or is that an Australian company? All I know is okay, let's see if we can do this here. Nice, there we go. Getting it done. Heck yeah. Hey, what's going on? Just have fun painting. Core of the hobby is to enjoy yourself. That is exactly right. And if you're not having fun, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? We spend too much money, time, and effort on this hobby to be grumpy about it or to do stuff that we're not having fun with. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. One of the key mantras I like to live by with this hobby, you know, is keep it simple, have fun with it, do what you love. Don't be grumpy about it, you know, and bring community together. Like it's all about community. Hey, Broom Patrol, thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Gotta go. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. I'm glad that you have enjoyed the chats for the 2.5 hours we've been doing this. Woo! That's a long stream. I haven't actually done one of these this long in a while. There you go. Look at that. I like the difference there, you know? It's just good advice for life. Yeah, it is. I do take a lot of like life advice stuff and apply it to Warhammer. You know, after all, it is quite literally my job. It's my life, so I take it quite seriously when it comes to, you know, making sure that I'm having a good time, trying to be nice to others, and you know, like treat others as I wish to be treated, and you know all that stuff. Just try to live by that. We're not all perfect. We're not perfect, but we can try to do our best. There we go. Look at that. Just want to show off what I'm going to be doing with the wings. So the wings are going to look nice. Maybe I'll do one more layer like towards the edges. I don't know, to like break up the little layers or whatever. But you can see the wings a little bit better, like that. I think that really does help bring out the texture of the wings. Oh my goodness gracious me! Well, folks, thanks a lot for hanging out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Broom Patrol, for the super chat. Thanks everybody who hang out in chat and spend some time, of course. The links are down below to go to the Patreon if you'd like to join the Patreon channel and or the Discord and all that good stuff. I do put up a battle report pretty much every single Friday for 40K, and I do 40K coaching and all that good stuff too. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me. You are all amazing. And I'll try and put up another one of these soon. Hopefully you want more, because it would be cool to do more of these. I think that would be really fun. I'd really like them. And we did a lot of hobby today, got a lot of stuff done that I just needed to get done. So it's a nice little stepping stone for like what I need to get done. So, and I will catch you on the flip side. After all, I've been Skari, your grateful host, signing off until next time. Skari out. The Dark Kin. And don't forget, just put paint on it. Bye, everybody.